Welcome back to Morning Live on SABC2. Professor Pitika Ntuli is one of the most important artists in the 21st century contemporary African market. His work has been collected by many museums around the world. For the first time today and tomorrow, some of his artwork will be on the auction floor at the Stephan Welz Co in Johannesburg. Now, Professor Ntuli is recovering from a surgery, but to tell us more, we joined in the studio by Zweli Ntuli. He's Professor Ntuli's son, as well as Anton Welz. He's the auctioneer and the director of Stephan Welz Co. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Welcome to Morning Live. Hi. Now, Zweli, unjani papa? I'm all right. How is Prof doing?
He's doing really well. He had his operation yesterday and he's recuperating at the moment, but it's gone as well as it could have possibly done. So he'll be a couple more days just recuperating, but all in all, it's gone pretty well.
Everything is well. Okay, he was even joking that he has actually written a poem on the whole experience.
Yes, he has already. You know what he's like. He's very prolific when it comes to the sort of poetic side of things, and it's very easy.
Generally, what does the auction mean to Prof?
It's an interesting one for the professor because it's not necessarily the direction he would have gone per se, but on the same token, it's a sort of opportunity for him to expose his work to a wider audience and for people to actually see the brilliance and magnificence of some of the artworks which he has. And so I think he's looking forward all in all to see how well and how successful it goes, and we hope that it all goes well at the auction tonight.
And then Anton, what is the significance of today's auction, specifically for Professor Ntuli's African artworks, for the African art market?
You know, I think he's produced work and it's been collected by a lot of very illustrious buyers and collectors. So it's never been on auction before. The price it achieves tonight is going to justify their faith in buying his work, and that's what we really hope for. It establishes him in the secondary market, and any artist who sells at auction with an auction house who publish their results, it gives the artist credibility in the secondary market. So it justifies people's faith in buying his work and knowing that it does have value.
And I believe that it will also be able to expose him to the whole world.
Well, that's the other side of it. Our auctions are you can bid online from anywhere in the world. So any collector anywhere will be able to see the work, watch the auction, and bid on the work. So it exposes his work to a much broader market than just locally here in Johannesburg.
Now, Zweli, Prof has been in exile for over 32 years.
Correct.
But specifically, what does his work mean?
What his work means. Well, especially when you're looking at the works which he's brought, these 4 pieces he has to auction, which consist of wood, bone and stone sculptures. You can see that there is a certain conversations which come into play when you look at it. So there is the conversation between the source material itself and the interaction with its personal environment and how it develops. So if you look at a mahogany tree, for example, which is one of the art pieces, which is 200 years old and was felled in 2007 in Durban, that has its unique sort of forms, shapes and attributes to it as well. Another conversation that comes into play is the artist himself and the worldview and his sort of outlook and what he can actually do to transpose and collaborate with that said work as well. So at the end of it, you have this byproduct of this amalgamation of the two sort of sides, whereby it's the work of the actual medium itself, the work of my father, and what sort of collaborates together into one sort of holistic piece, which thereby people are able to see and actually appreciate for itself, and you see their sort of inherent beauty. What is excellent about Professor Ntuli's work is riddled with lots of symbolic sort of gestures. There's works and there's symbols from the Orient, from the Middle East. There's more closer to home, the more African and more Afrocentric sort of worldviews and discourses are actually being interpreted and actually being discussed in the work themselves. And it's just absolutely fascinating when you actually look at the sort of internal and the more sort of intrinsic meanings of these works as well, which shows a wider sort of collaboration from a sort of grassroots Afrocentric perspective. And if you conflagrate that with the wider art markets as well, and you can see the sort of differentials between Afrocentric and Eurocentric discourses.
Exactly what I wanted to come to, Anton. Is African art in demand as much as it is for Western art?
I don't know if you can distinguish between the two.
Can we?
But I think that African art is the next big thing. if one looks at the success of African artists in the world market, the Dubai Art Fair, Frieze 54 in London, which are exposing African art from a continental perspective to the world market, it's exploding. It is probably going to be the next big thing.
Well, that's where we're going to leave it, gentlemen, but thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Great pleasure.
Thank you very much. There you have it, Professor Ntuli's son, Zweli Ntuli, as well as Anton Welz, who is an auctioneer. Well, we're taking a break. Morning Live continues after this. Stay tuned.